How's it going, Scrub Gamers? Welcome back to another video here at Scrub Games, and today we have a new video today going over the breakdown and top 16 list from the Zenkai Cup that was held by Webcam in EU by Raid'n'Trade last Sunday. And it's quite a good one because it is quite a diverse top cut. We haven't seen stuff like a top cut or events this diverse since before the Zenkai series started. Because since the Zenkai series started with this brand new mechanic called the Z deck and stuff like that, we've had dominance presented by certain decks. Like it started off with just mainly dominating with just red, like the two new red decks that came out, and then blue started taking over with the last set, and not as taking over as bad, but almost as bad. And now it's looking after like a few nerfs, it's looking to change, or it might be that the EU is just more like fun focused in like bringing decks actually trying something different and just playing the same deck. We don't know, but we'll see, and we'll have a look at the breakdown. But before we do get into that, feel free to like the video if you do enjoy when I bring out this information and these details, also the lists, everything like that. Also drop a comment if you want to comment anything below on the video. Feel free to do that. And lastly, feel free to subscribe to the video and to the channel, which helps me out greatly, helping me get to my goal of 1,000 subs. Trying to get there, we're over halfway there with a giveaway going at the moment. And also, as well as that, it helps me become a Dragon Ball man, as you'll see if you've seen the giveaway video. And all of that is also much appreciated. So now let's have a look at the breakdown and see what decks made it, and how many were, and what colours they were. So here is the Raid'n'Trade Zenkai Cup breakdown. So we had a good, how many is that? Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 different decks made top 16. So almost all the top 16 decks were set like different decks, different leaders. Only two recurring ones being 2 SS4 Gogeta and 2 Gamma. But as you can see, there is a ton of like variation color, every color having 2 different decks in there. So you got at least 2 yellow and 2 green as a minimum, then 3 black creeping in. I know black is a colour that everybody feels is completely dead, like at the bottom, like not great, but we're seeing with some quite strong decks, like AOD and Supreme Cloud, we saw that these got support, and Gogeta's, well, Goku Zeno showing up as well, being a interesting one that people probably did not expect, and it made its way all the way to, I think, third place we'll see in a sec. But yep, we got a fair bit of blue, because blue is going to come in the format to help combat red and also do some good stuff, like quite a few different ones. Like ones you expect, like Gamma after the win at the EU finals, got Crimson Goku as winning all the other finals after the set 19 was released. Reboot Beerus still showing us strong, and with some of these decks as well, gaining a benefit of the God Sealing ban, which some of them held back, like Supreme Kai Time. Reboot Beerus was a bit hindered by it. Setsu Vegeta is still showing strong as well, AOD with its support. Turtle Skull still hanging out. It's been in like top cut from, I think, most events now. Turtle Skull showing us a very strong green deck. Android 16 coming in as well. And we got some interesting ones like Yellow Trunks also performing, like being one of the strongest yellow decks. Set 1 Golden Freezer showing up. Green Boo as well, because that got a bit more support as well. And a Reboot Trunks showing up as well. So quite like a diverse, yeah, very diverse top cut. And quite interesting, and now I imagine that people look at this thinking, what are the lists looking like for each one? Well, let's go ahead and have a look, shall we? So, starting off with the first one, we'll start off with first place down to 60th place. We'll start off with Xavier Perez. His Crimson list, so this is his Crimson list, showing off, and also his best of ones. We will go with the side deck as well for these and the Z deck. So this is the main deck, so going with the secret rare of the Beast Gohan secret rare. Only one copy of the 8-drop Sun Gohan rare, and quite a few different ones, even with the Gamma 1-drop and stuff. It's quite interesting. This is his build for it. I'm not going to go over in more detail because I haven't played the deck properly myself, so I'm not well versed in it. But then we've got the Z deck and side deck being here. So that's his Z deck and side deck as well. And his record, he did go undefeated first place, going 6-0. And that was the Crimson list. Also, remember, the links will be down in the description below, so if you just want to check them out straight to Deck Planet, go ahead and check them out and have a look for yourself, and even important deck untap if you want to try them out. And then we'll go for the next. We'll go second place, and this one was Debbie Casanova's Red SS4 Gogeta one. So This one did get like this was one of the decks that got hit by the ban list, as well as like Crimson kind of getting a slight nerf with the loss of digging deep, so no longer has that Goku give you a 5k defense to be defended a bit easier, so it's got less defense, but still perform well. And interestingly, went with the SSB Vegeta secret rare instead of the SS or the SS4 well not SS4 Vegito secret rare. Interesting. Most decks didn't have it. Might be didn't have access to it. Didn't have it. We don't know. Well, we'll maybe see if we can get a deck profile for people if people want that. And then for the Z deck and side deck, this is what you had decided. So this is the side deck for that. So that is for second place. Now we're going to third place, and that was none other than Michael from one of our new teammates for Team -2, coming in with his third place with his Goku Zeno. This is one of the decks probably people might be interested. Most of all, because it's for one, it's a black deck. People do expect that black to do well in any event, and it came away with third place and performed very strong with a 5-1 record. Michael being one of the best players in the EU, making top cut for the EU finals, and also winning the London event we had as well. Just before that, can't remember if that was a regional or not. But yeah, taking that London event, making top cut of EU finals, showing that he's one of the best players in the EU, and I think he's very proficient with black decks as well. Wanted to put black on the map, which he kind of did with this. So that is his main deck as well. And also, if you want to check out a more in-depth deck profile for this deck, feel free to go to Planet Onion in the description below. There'll be a link to the deck profile he's done on his locals YouTube. So you want to check that out and if you want to understand more about the deck, about his reasons for tech choices and how it's supposed to play, go ahead and check that out. And for a side deck, Z deck and side deck, that's basically what I had. So that is the list for third. Now we'll go on to fourth. And for fourth place, we got Marco's Reboot Beerus. So just like with Michael, if you want to go and check out a more in-depth deck profile, go ahead and check out the Lookout. The link to their video of their deck profile with Marco is down below. So if you want to understand more about the deck's tech choices and how he played it and how it's meant to go ahead and check that out if you want to understand the deck a little bit more, because I'm just going through the list to show off the list so people can see what decks are played. But that is his main deck, and then we get down to his side deck as well, and his Z deck, and that is what he had. So there you go. Remember, you can also check down below for the list and more them to untap if you want to try them out on Untap too. And then we'll get on to fifth place as well. And that was by another member of the Team -2, being Ollie from the current EU national champion, and coming in testing out his AOD list because he got new support, managed to scrump together, managed to get a few dashbacks, put together the AOD to give it a try, and ended up taking fifth place, only losing to teammate Michael as well in the round before last. And if you want to, he does have a deck profile up on channel, so if you want to go check out Big O Notation, he's got a channel going over the list. Is reasons behind the top choices, going over the deck, how it plays, how it functions, even changes he make his future as well, and details about together. So if you want to check out more in-depth deck profile, go check out his channel. Link is down below for any of these as well that I do find. And if any more come up, I'll try to add them to it as well. So let's have a look at his Z deck and side deck. So there's that. So if you want to go and try it out and understand it, that's what he has sided. Now let's have a look at sixth place. And sixth place was Daniel with his set 2 Vegito. So this is his version. A little bit different than I've seen before, but managed to take a 16th place, I think, going X1. And that was his list. So this is it, main deck. And then we'll have a look down at his Z deck and side deck as well. So that is his tech choices to help him through it. Yeah, then it go 5-1. Remember, this was best of 1 pre-side as well. Then we'll go ahead and have a look at 7th place. And that, of course, being the third black deck. That was it. So the last black deck that managed to make it. So black taking up these into being all in top 8, which is pretty cool, pretty promising. And that being Supreme Kai, never deck that got some support, both in support over time and dash back a few other cards before that, and also as well as that, getting support in the ban of God Sealing, because that was an issue with stopping Overrealm, making it so you couldn't perform the wormhole with the unison. So this is the main deck you ran, and then we'll have a look at the side deck and the Z deck as well. So managed to get, so it's one of the few people, because with this as well, this was an event that came out just before the dash packs came out, because we got dash packs quite late in Europe, and not every locals, not every region managed to get them on time before this. So some of these decks might have been where they couldn't get dash packs to play certain decks, and some of them that was able to get dash packs. Some of these few like AOD and Spring Cut managed to get dash pack support to help actually give them a little bit buff. So take that in mind as well. So that is 7th place. Then we go down 8th place, and that is the Ever SS4. So SS4 both getting in the top 8. Could be well, not first, but 2nd and 8th. And this is Alejandro's ones, and a little bit different than it. This one's playing the Vegito Secret Rare instead of the SSB Vegeta, a lot more tacked out, a little more different variation, different cards. And we'll have a look at the side and Z as well. Ooh, a little bit too far. And so that is the Z deck and the side deck as well. Go a little bit higher just so you can see the actual like mounts for the Z deck as well. But that is 8th place. So this is the last person that went 5-1. So from there on out, from 9th to 16th, these are the players that went 4-2. So 4 wins, 2 losses. So start off with the 9th place. And this one is the one that I've seen people like requesting more about, which is the Turtle School decks. People do seem to be a little bit in love with the Turtle School deck. It is quite an interesting deck, and also a nice green deck as well. One of the strongest green decks we've seen in a while, like from the new series as well, Zenkai series. And it's nice to see some green decks doing well, because a lot of people hate on green, but then it comes down to with green is a thing where people don't really know how to play it or like build it or play it. So it's nice to see when green does well, you know the pilot is quite decent behind it. And this is the main deck, and then we go down to the Z deck and side deck. So that is a Z deck incorporated, and also the side deck as well, decked out to help deal with it. So if you're wondering how he did, you can always ask him. We'll try and see if get deck profiles with him if need be. Just comment if you want a deck profile with anybody else that hasn't already had deck profile done one on their own channel. Feel free to request it, and I'll see what I can do. But that's 9th place. Let's have a look at 10th place, and that would be one of the Gammas. So the first Gamma we've seen, teched out, and yeah. So this is the Gamma deck going with the Gohan Secret Rare. Like not like it used to be. Baby Hatch was the only real blue Secret Rare, but since we've got ones like the SSB Kaioken Goku and the Beast Gohan Secret Rare, Blue actually have a variation now with the Secret Rare, so it's harder to just predict either instead of just running Hatch what Secret Rare are running, because you have all the options now. You have more aggressive options, more mid range, more defensive ones. It's quite nice. And this was Manuel's Manuel's deck. And we'll have a look at the Z deck inside to see what he was taking out in there. And one interesting ones here is he's taking in the 7-drop cell in the side, which is quite interesting. It'd be interesting to see how that worked for him, and if he actually used that at all, if it's just in there for filler. But that is 10th place. Let's have a look at 11th. And this was a Never Android deck, but not Gamma in Android 16, so a deck that we've seen do well on most occasions. More comes down to a few players just putting a lot of effort into Android 16, and here we go. Let's have a look. So we got the interesting choice with the Gohan Piccolo arrival there. Not sure how that came. Oh yeah, I know how it comes in because it doesn't require to have any yellow in it. But interesting choice, being a 90k, so it gets a little ramp, which is cool, and that's quite an interesting choice as well. So that is that deck, and then we'll have a look at the Z deck and the side deck, being because it's always interesting to see what people tech in and what they're using it from. So that is the Z deck inside, and then we go on to 12th place after this. So 12th place, and that is the Golden Freezer deck. So the Golden Freezer coming in at 12th with Hector. I think we've seen Hector do like top in a few other events in the EU as well. and it's quite cool, showing the this is interesting with how his deck's built. 55 cards, because most decks like Golden Freezer normally put more than 50 because they draw so much through the deck with all the cantrips and drawing from the lead that they don't want to avoid decking out. And this is what he techs out with. It's quite cool. And go down and have a look at his Z deck and also side deck. So a little bit less spread out than most decks, a lot less teched out. But still, got him all the way to 12th place with a 4-2 record, which is pretty cool. And then we got 13th place. Let's have a look at that. And that is the second green deck, and that is Green Boo. So this is a deck that got support with the Z lead and stuff in the Premium Risk box. So it just got the Z lead, but still that support was good enough to actually increase it a little bit. And this is what he was running for his deck. So interesting build. Again with the units of focus with no, don't see any Barbody. So he wasn't running any Barbody, but going with one Barbody just for the search of the 4-drop, and also Vegito as well for his units of choice. Quite cool, quite interesting. Split between the super combo as well was quite an interesting tech. And then we go down to have a look at his Z deck and his side deck to see what he's teching out in the side deck to help deal with certain matchups. And that's what we got. So yeah, green is one of those decks as well. One of those colors that the Z deck is less teched out because there's less generic stuff, unlike most other colors. I think the most variants in the Z deck is really blue, which is quite funny. And then we go to 14th place, and that brings us to the other yellow deck, the second yellow deck being Yellow Trunks. So this never deck that got support, and I'm not sure if he had all the support in here. You know, it could be that he didn't want to run it or didn't have access to it, because I don't see any of the 1-drop or the Vegito in the deck. So that is his main deck that he used to get him all the way to 14th place, which is still a good record. And let's have a look at his Z deck and side deck. So I'm guessing, looking by his deck, it might not have been able. That's the thing. Like with this deck, it could be that he just didn't have access to the dash packs, or that he didn't want to use dash pack cards. Well, we don't really know. It's just looking at his list. But it could be the case because, as I said, not all regions managed to get dash packs in time before the event. But that's 14th place. Let's have a look at 15th. So we're getting close to the end here now, and this is the Reboot Trunks deck that came in 15th place. So quite interesting. Looks to be built basically like a Crimson deck, but using a different lead. So yeah, with the Red Goku, the Unbreakable Goku in it as well. Yeah, I think it just looks being just like a Crimson Goku deck, but with the Trunks leader. So I'm not sure what benefit the Trunks did, unless it was the fact he can awaken at higher life with the alternate awakening condition, where if your opponent's flipped over, you can flip over with a certain amount of Z energy. I can't remember how that works, but interesting. Basically, Crimson deck, but with a different leader. So that's quite. So you can be a bit more flexible in blue. And then with the Z deck and the side deck, we've got here the Z deck. Of course, no potential Goku Z leader in this one because it's not a blue Goku leader, and the side deck is well teched out to help deal with certain matchups. And that brings us to the last one, being 16th place. And that brings us to the last Gamma list, and a little bit different. So with this Gamma list, he's running the Baby Hatch secret rare instead of the Beast Gohan one. And yeah, there's only one Boo Unison, and focusing on the 2-drop Unison as well. And yeah, takes out also some of these Gohans as well, which is quite cool, because as well this is a SH leader, so you can run the blue SH support. And let's have a look at his, before we finish this video, let's have a look at his C deck and side deck to see what he had included in the side. Ooh, give a better look at the ratios for the Z deck as well. So that is it. That is the breakdown. Once again, if you do want to see some deck profiles for some of the players, if you're interested in more in-depth awareness on this, I would check out down below any links if I've got the links to any of the players who have put deck profiles on their channels or on their own channel, things like that. I'll link it to them so you can go check that out to get more in depth for it. But if there isn't one been done and you want to see a more in-depth explanation or a deck profile with any of the players, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll try and see if I can arrange that and get it sorted out. But for now, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.